The rations were down to the last crate. Inside the underground shelter, silence fell like a heavy curtain as the group gathered around a metal box, its corners dented from a rough journey across the war-scarred terrain. Among them were 5 frightened alien children, their wide, glassy eyes watching every move. Behind them stood Kira, the tall, armored alien girl who had taken charge since her commander's death. And among them, quiet but unyielding, was a human, Corin. He stood out not just for his pale skin and soft voice, but for his stubborn kindness. He hadn't belonged here, not originally. Corin had been a mechanic on a supply ship when it was shot down over this dying world. He didn't have armor. He didn't have rank. But what he did have was a heart no one expected him to wield like a weapon. Kira knelt, opened a crate, and counted 7 nutrient bars. She looked up. "We have 10 mouths to feed." Corin shrugged. "Make it 9. I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten in 2 days. Kids come first." One of the youngest aliens, a fuzzy, wide-eared girl named Lena, tugged on his sleeve. "But you'll get weak. You'll die." He smiled and patted her head. "I've been hungry before. You need it more than I do." Kira said nothing, her reptilian tail flicking once. Her species, the Zerani, were proud, survival-focused, and blunt. In her world, weakness was a sin. But Corin didn't act weak. He gave without hesitation. Even now, as his hands trembled from exhaustion, he stood tall. Kira divided the rations and handed them out. Corin sat against the cold stone wall and sipped a bit of recycled water, eyes closed. His body screamed for rest, but his mind was alert, tracking the children, their moods, their safety. That night, Kira approached him, her voice low. "You know, leadership on my world is earned through combat or command. We don't believe in charity." Corin didn't open his eyes. "You're welcome to your customs. I just want to make sure the kids are okay. And yet, they look at you like you're their protector. Not me." He glanced up. "Maybe because they don't need a commander. They need someone who sees them." The days bled together. Dust storms came and went, the sound of distant artillery echoing above. Every time the shelter shook, the kids clung to Corin. Kira saw it all. She saw the way he sacrificed his blanket for the youngest when the temperature dipped below freezing. She saw him stay up all night whispering stories to calm their dreams. She saw him fix the broken water purifier, using nothing but scrap and sheer stubbornness. One evening, when a cave-in blocked half the entrance, Corin spent 6 hours digging with his bare hands until they cleared a narrow path out. Blood streaked his fingers. Still, he smiled. "You'll get yourself killed," Kira warned. "If I don't help, who will? You're not even one of us." "I'm alive. That's enough." Kira couldn't understand him. Or maybe she didn't want to admit she did. It wasn't until the 7th day that they were found. A Zerani search unit stumbled across the shelter. The commander, armored in black and gold, stepped forward. "Kira, you're alive. Report." She stood straight. "We have 5 surviving juveniles. 1 human." The commander's eyes narrowed. "Why keep the human alive?" Corin stood nearby, silent. Before Kira could speak, Lena ran to Corin, hugging his leg tightly. The other children followed, surrounding him like moons around a star. They didn't run to Kira. They didn't look to the other soldiers. Just him. The commander raised a brow. Odd. They clinged to him. "He kept them alive," Kira said, slowly. "He gave up his food, his warmth, his safety." "A human," the commander scoffed. "Sentimentality." Kira stepped forward. "Leadership isn't just orders. It's sacrifice." I watched him lead through example, not fear. The children follow him not because they were told to, but because he earned it. The commander sneered. "You call him a leader?" "I do." Corin blinked. "Kira." She turned to him. "You show them what a true protector looks like. You led us through the worst days with nothing but your will and your kindness. I follow you now, not out of weakness, out of respect." Silence fell again. Then the commander sighed. "Very well. He'll come with us. But the council won't like this." "Then they'll learn," Kira said, "from him." The journey back to the Zerani base was slow. Along the way, the alien children stayed close to Corin. Soldiers whispered behind his back. Some mocked. Others simply watched, puzzled. But he walked tall, despite the weight of exhaustion and unfamiliar eyes. He didn't do it for status. He did it for the kids who smiled when he held their hands. When they arrived, Corin expected to be dismissed, maybe even imprisoned. Instead, he was summoned. A massive hall of glass and stone greeted him. At its center sat the High Council. Kira stood beside him as they questioned her. And then they turned to him. "You are human. You do not share our blood. Why would you risk your life for our young?" Corin looked at them, tired but unwavering. "Because they needed me. That is not reason enough. It is for me. I didn't ask what species they were. I saw scared children. That was all I needed." A silence rippled through the chamber. Then one of the elder council members leaned forward. "Perhaps we've forgotten that kind of leadership." Kira stepped beside Corin. "He has my loyalty, and the loyalty of the children. In the worst moments, he kept hope alive." Another voice. "Do you wish him to join us?" "He already has," Kira said, "whether you accept it or not." Weeks passed. Corin remained at the base, unofficial at first. But when the children refused to listen to anyone else, when Kira deferred to him on matters of care, the council relented. He was given a place, not as a soldier, not as an officer, but as something new, a bridge, a protector, a leader. The alien girl who once saw him as an outsider now stood by his side, proudly. And in the hearts of the young ones, those who had seen war, fear, and hunger, he was more than human. He was home.